Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about art block, what it is, how to fix it, and so yeah, let's get right into it. There's a specific kind of silence that happens when you try to sit down and draw and then nothing happens. We usually call it art block when there's this kind of static that, arrives where an idea should be and nothing ends up hitting the paper. Most advice treats that as like a mechanical problem, but maybe like you need more references or things like that. But really I think it's more of a psychological problem. So let's talk about it that way. Art block is rarely a lack of ideas, it's usually a surplus of judgment, right? Sometimes I like to, search on Pinterest. I'll look at some ideas and look at some artworks, and I'm usually looking at things that are really, really good, right? That I think are really good. And I'm trying to kind of I'm trying to come up with an idea and I'm trying to draw things in a way that kind of meets that expectation. But, I end up comparing myself, right? And so you really want to think about how easily you made things as a kid. You never waited for the right idea. Nothing you made yet had any weight to being judged. Somewhere between then and now, every mark kind of got a verdict. Something was good or bad, whether it was worth posting or not. And the more skill you got, the faster that inner judge showed up. Sometimes before you even pick up a pencil, you think about, whether the idea is good enough or not, and it almost never hits the page. Art block is really just the inner critic that got loud enough to drown out the idea before it even had a chance to exist. So really, this is about having some high standards, which is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. That shows that you actually care about what you are creating. But the fear, it convinces you that starting badly is actually worse than not starting at all. And that belief is what produces the art block, because every piece of art starts somewhere. It starts bad, or maybe it starts well. It starts somewhere. Maybe it's the rough sketch or the ugly first pass. It's not exactly failure, it's just stage one. So now we understand what the problem is exactly. It's usually from our inner critic, because we care about the work that we do and we want to make sure that it reaches a certain standard. And that's why we want to kind of make sure that the idea that we come up with meets that expectation. But then we sort of start to end up crippling ourselves, and that's what we don't want to do. So what's the solution? You can't really out-argue it with logic in the moment. What we want to do is we want to lower the stakes until there's nothing to grab onto, which is why just doodling actually works. Doodling for just anything, that is, a great solution, because nobody is seeing what you are creating. There's no inner critic that can get leverage. It's the same reason why working small helps, like having a 5-minute timer, sketching with your non-dominant hand, or creating something ugly on purpose. It removes the sense that the product actually matters in some way. You're just getting your hand to move, again, without the ideas being stuck behind fear. And that's how we're really going to combat art block. To keep the habit that keeps art block from returning is to build a regular practice where the work is explicitly required not to be good. So you want to make sure that there's really no consequence there, right? You want to make sure that whatever you're drawing, you just want to start off somewhere. It's a first draft. It doesn't need to be good. It can be redrawn. It can be improved later on. There's no consequence at the start of the art process. So maybe what you want to do to as a long-term fix is to have daily thumbnails, a warm-up sketch every day. Have a sketchbook that never gets posted anywhere, right? That's a great idea. This kind of separates the act of making something from an evaluation of what's made, so that the inner critic never gets veto power over what you're even allowed to start. So if there's anything that you should get out of this video, it's that In order to fix art block in some way, we want to make sure that there's nothing for our inner critic to actually, we want to just draw things for the sake of drawing. It doesn't need to look good. It doesn't need to start off good in any way. Maybe we're just doing thumbnails for the heck of it. Maybe we're just drawing for fun, right? And we're not going to show anyone this. We're not gonna post it anywhere. It doesn't need to go into our portfolio, right? So there's no consequence there, therefore there's no leverage for your inner critic, and therefore you can just draw whatever without judging yourself, without, feeling the need for any kind of expectation or a standard. So art block isn't really proof that you've run out of ideas. It's really just, your standards arrived at the page before your curiosity did. Really, you should just give yourself the chance and be kinder to yourself. So the next time it hits, don't wait for permission to make something good. Just make something. Let it be bad. It doesn't matter. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.